Today I'll be giving my full review on the newly released Planet Coaster Console Edition from the perspective of someone who has played the PC version for over 3 years. I'll be talking about its pros and cons, and whether this is something worth buying as a coaster enthusiast. All of that and more coming up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 8.
Hey guys, and welcome to 808 Coaster Life. If you're new to this channel and you love roller coasters and other theme park related stuff, please consider subscribing for quality coaster entertainment every 1 to 2 weeks. This review will be based off of the PS4 edition, but I'm pretty sure that this review will also apply to the other consoles this game is compatible with. Before fall of 2020, Planet Coaster was only available on PC, which is not a problem at all, except that it is a performance-demanding game where a beefed-up PC was highly recommended. I myself have a 2015 Dell laptop that obviously was not built for gaming. It handled Planet Coaster okay until I built decently sized parks, but I knew that at some point I won't be able to tolerate the lag anymore. But in fall of 2020, Planet Coaster came first to the Mac via a partnership with ASPYR. Today it is available on the Mac App Store as well as Steam for Mac. Get the Steam version, please. But even more exciting was the release of Planet Coaster Console Edition. What I was most excited for going in is the performance. You see, there's a huge variety of PCs ranging from thin ultrabooks to spec'd out custom gaming PCs. So it's hard for Frontier to optimize it for every type of PC out there. But for Console Edition, there are only a handful of consoles to optimize for. So basically, I was expecting better and more consistent performance on the console version. And now, with all of that being said, yes, I know that intro was very long. Let's see what Console Edition has to offer. First of all, when I got this game on disc form, I had to update it in order to use networking features such as the Frontier Workshop and DLCs, which I'll get to later. I don't know if that'll apply to the other consoles, but it's not too big of a deal. Now let's get the big one out of the way, the controls. I was very interested to see how they would translate a game that uses keyboard and mouse to a controller. And I'll have to agree with others that there is a bit of a learning curve to it. I didn't find it daunting, I definitely got used to them over time. I don't play a lot of console games, but this is the first console game I've ever played where cross buttons were used as main controls. In other games I played, the navigation was done using the left joystick while the cross buttons were used as a secondary source of input. But on here, you have to use the cross buttons in order to move around the UI. I can tell that Frontier took full advantage of all of the buttons available on the controllers. I'm very confident that if you take the time to learn the controls, maybe by YouTube videos or tutorials in game, you'll be blazing fast moving around all of the controls and menus. The Coaster Builder is one place where it takes time to get used to the controls, but again, you'll get used to it if you take the time to learn it. But I still think it's easier to learn than No Limits 2, so hey, it's not that hard to learn. By the time I finished building a basic B&M floorless coaster, I'd say I was pretty fast navigating the UI. If roller coasters is what you build most in this game, cough cough me, you'll be happy to know that this basically has the same functionality as the PC version. Unfortunately, that means that it also inherits the same flaws as the PC Coaster Builder, mainly in the smoothing department. I still consider the PC version better for coaster building just because the UI is easier to navigate with the mouse and keyboard, but this is close. The smoothing in this is interesting. I use what people call the 4-meter autocomplete method, which is basically where I build my track in 4-meter pieces, do one pass of smoothing, and then I smooth it out more by auto-completing it. This method of smoothing can be done in the console edition, but it's a little more inconvenient than the PC version, which allows you to move your selection but keep the size of it the same. If you want to move your selection in the console version, you'll have to reselect the whole thing. It's a pretty minor thing, but I can imagine people that are used to using the 4-meter smoothing method having a little bit of a challenge. The smoothing results will be the same as the PC version, so no, you will probably not be able to build coasters as smooth as No Limits in this game. On the bright side, the ride options you are given are the exact same as the PC version, with the exception of certain DLC rides. Speaking of that, the DLCs offered as of when this recording has been made is the Magnificent Rides, Classic Rides, and Adventure Pack. These are actually my 3 favorite DLCs, so I don't have a problem with that. But just note that not all DLCs are available in the console version just yet. The path builder is still finicky, the controls are pretty easy to adapt, but the mechanics are still flawed. It's hard to make big wide plazas, and applying path to the terrain is still very difficult. I don't know if I just never found the option, but I couldn't find a way to align the path to a grid, which I sometimes use to create queue lines. Basically, with the exception of the grid builder, the path builder is the same as the PC version. To my surprise, the terrain editor in this game is very easy. It takes about 3 minutes to learn the basic controls. If you want to make complex terrain, it's still difficult, but I mean, I created a basic pit to house my floorless coaster's Cobra roll, and that didn't take a long time to make. If the coaster and path builders got you intimidated, this may make you feel a little better while learning this game. Creating scenery such as rockwork, nature, and theming felt pretty easy to me. All you really need to know is how to rotate and adjust the height of an object. However, the building editor is very interesting. The advanced move and multi-select functions took time to get used to, especially since you have to use a controller. But I was satisfied at how I can create buildings about as fast as I was in the PC version. This still had a learning curve to it, but again, after I took the time to get used to it, I was perfectly fine with the controls. And I like how there are many blueprints for you to choose from if you don't feel up to creating your own. Park management felt the same in this game. The menus were very detailed and appealing, but to me, park management in this game feels stressful. It's just my opinion, and maybe that might make the game a little more realistic. The sharing and networking features in this game do have distinct differences from the PC version. You do not have access to the Steam Workshop or ThimeMaker's Toolkit items. Instead, you get the new Frontier Workshop. There are some really good creations on the Frontier Workshop, but because it's so new, there isn't a lot of noteworthy blueprints on there yet. Keep in mind, the Planet Coaster Steam Workshop probably started off the same way as this workshop did back in 2016. I mentioned earlier how I was excited for the boost in performance compared to the PC I use. And based on what I've seen so far, this game performs excellently. I thought the playing experience greatly exceeded my experience playing on the PC version, but I can imagine that if you have a spec'd out PC, you'll probably get similar, if not better results. Unfortunately, there are a few flaws and minor bugs that'll hopefully be fixed soon. A big thing many people complained about at launch is the presence of a build limit. For me, I don't build massive or highly detailed theme parks, so this shouldn't affect me too much. And the reason they put this build limit is to keep performance in good shape, which I am a big fan of. But Frontier, if you're watching this, please fix this graphical issue. It's pretty bizarre. It only affects birds and pieces being moved around, but until this issue gets resolved, I wouldn't recommend getting this for certain uses such as announcing a new roller coaster. On the other hand, one big surprise to me was the controller shaking. I don't play console games a lot, so when I rode my basic floorless coaster for the first time, I was like, whoa! As someone who currently hasn't ridden a roller coaster in over a year, this is something I appreciate. And I felt some subtle shakes as I was placing some objects. I felt more immersed in the console version than the PC version, which is saying something. As a little bonus, here's the first coaster I've ever created in Planet Coaster Console Edition. It's a basic B&M floorless coaster with some custom elements as well as prefab elements. Enjoy! Overall, this game was able to meet my very high expectations. The controls, although they do have a learning curve, felt intuitive. I was pleased to find out that it has just about all of the functionality of the PC version, which I think is quite impressive since I don't hear about a lot of theme park games on consoles. Is it better than the PC version? Honestly, I think I need more time playing console edition before I put it head to head with the PC version. By the way, there will be a full comparison video of the two versions coming soon. I've never considered console edition a downgrade from the PC version, although I didn't have the best computer for playing the PC version, so it might be a different story if you have a really good PC. Planet Coaster Console Edition really focuses on the experience. I didn't have to worry about as many things as I did playing the PC version, such as performance. But do I recommend it? absolutely if you have a compatible console. I'd love to make more Planet Coaster console edition for you guys, so let me know down in the comments any coaster suggestions you want me to build. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by leaving a like on this video. Also, let me know down in the comments what is your favorite roller coaster game or program if you own any. If you're new to this channel and you love roller coasters and other theme park related stuff, please consider subscribing for quality coaster entertainment every 1 to 2 weeks. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.